Hello, welcome. Now we're on the West Ham Massive, ladies and gentlemen. We was on the West Ham Network 5 minutes ago, and now there's me and Jazz. Possibly Dennis is going to come. James has had to disappear off, and so has Holly. She's obviously got responsibilities as a mother. But guys, thank you very much for joining us. Please don't forget to like the stream, comment on it, share it to your socials, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon to get new alerts on new content. Thank you very much indeed for your support. And any of you new guys that have just joined us, having not even known we were here till about an hour ago, when you popped onto the West Ham Network and you saw this ugly face looking at you and you went, who the hell's that? Welcome, welcome. One family, the West Ham family. That's what we are. Jazz, quite an interesting couple of questions that came in. And there may be some more that the live chat might put in. And if there are any questions, guys, exactly what I put in on the last one, just put it in the live chat. I can't promise we will be able to answer every single one. Of course, we got absolutely overwhelmed on the last one and probably only scratched the surface. So this is another little bite at the cherry for you that we can sort of get stuck in. And because this is a little bit of a smaller one, we might be able to sort of get through a few questions maybe a bit quicker besides. So get them in. Jazz, what was your take on that stream we've just completed? Enjoy.
Yeah, couple of things. I love the sense of humor in the chat. It was hilarious. I had obviously John during world exclusive Jazz. We had a lot of fun with that. So I love the banter between West Ham fans, East London comedy. So you know what?
It's all good fun.
I love all of that. The sense of humor we've got at the club is hilarious. And like I said, as long as it's clean and yeah, it was so funny in there. I was cracking up.
Yeah,
but
my ear going missing.
And a lot of the names we know, Freshfield is like a West Ham family, and I love all that. Keep that coming and everything. But going back to the serious issue of West Ham, the one thing I wanted to talk about, I don't want to sort of hope I'm not interrupting what you wanted to talk about. The agenda.
That's what you're here to do, Jazz.
And something that perhaps people are not clear about, it shocked me when I looked into it before the show, was that the net spend, West Ham United, so net spend is obviously what you spend, what's come in, and what's left, the balance of it. It's 82 million euros from Transfer Market, which is a respectable website. So if you convert 82 million euros net spend into sterling pounds, Great British pounds, it's 70 million, right? But what people forget, and I remembered, is that this is the window where we got the last Declan Rice installment, I believe, of £33 million has come in. Because we told him it's 101 million payable via 3 installments. Hopefully I'm right, this is the last one that came through. And that would make it that 37 million we've spent. Gatesy, because you've been thinking like me, oh my God, are we going for another 2 players, another 1 player, another 3 players? It's because after Declan Rice money has come in, the net spend is 37 million. And when we haven't had Declan Rice to sell and things like that, we've usually got about 60, 70, we at stretch, 50, 60, 70. So I think there's room in there for another 30. But I don't know if you looked into it. I didn't look into it till just before the show. Yeah, maybe that's interesting in the comments. People want to talk about it, really. I don't know if you missed it, Dennis, but our net spend, Dennis, this window is 82 million euros, which is 70 million pounds. If you take the Declan Rice last installment of around 34 million pounds, it's 37 million. But both of you can correct me. I believe the last 34 million Declan Rice installment was this summer, wasn't it? Payable via 3 installments.
I'll be perfectly honest with you, mate. I'm not sure. How about you, Dennis?
I don't know either.
I think 101 million was payable via 3 installments, unless we asked for a bit more at the beginning. But our viewers are full of knowledge, things like that. Yeah.
So like him or loathe him, Sean Whetstone at West Ham Football is probably the one that knows this. So he's going to be the most accurate with the money normally.
So 37 million is our net spend, which we've got room then, haven't we? That's why we're still going for it, pushing hard. So I don't know.
Sharky's at it, area Gatesy. Oh, sorry. Do you know what I did? I have got a green screen, but the problem is that we got a dog last year. And where we put her bed, we've had to move things around. So now I haven't got room for the green screen. So, yeah, it is what it is. But, 206 watching right now. Guys, that is really I really appreciate you guys coming across. I'm assuming from the West Ham Network. Please don't forget to drop a like on the stream. That is so important. And give us a subscribe if you haven't already. Dennis, what was your thoughts on the debate that we've just had over on the West Ham Network? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Obviously, it's a shame we only got to answer about 5 or 6 questions because there were loads of ones, and it was quite tough to kind of differentiate. I do hope that gentleman, whoever you want to call him, didn't catch his name or don't remember his name from the video. That's got the dilemma. Listens to Jay, and listens to all of us and goes with them and takes them down to London Stadium. So hopefully, that gets back to him. So
I think he's got to do it. Like I say, I mean, from how he sort of like phrased it, it's like, look, I can't afford Premier League football. My boy wants to go. I want to sort of bring him into sort of supporting West Ham. He's paid the money in good faith. He's then discovered that there's a protest, which fundamentally he supports. However, he's paid the money, and it's his son. So it's like he would have to wait until the Betway Cup game, the next game, or the League Cup, or something like that. Yeah. And I don't know sort of where he lives, sort of in the country. It might be that's a factor in it. I think if he's paid the money, guys, I think he's got to do it. So, Jay, if you're watching this, mate, that's our thing on it. What you do is up to you. But I think we was all pretty unanimous. Look, you've done it. It is what it is. You're just going to have to go with it, mate. It is what it is. But I hope you have a good day. I hope your son enjoys it. And becomes a lifelong Hammer like we all are. We've had a couple of questions that have come in, both of which have come from Hammer 89. Do appreciate you getting your questions in. And guys, as it says on the ticker at the bottom, if you've got a question for us, there's only the 3 of us here tonight, so maybe there's a bit more scope to get into a few questions of a little bit more detail. Get your questions in for tonight's panel. As it says there, please put a Q at the start so it's easier to find, and which is exactly what Hammer 89's done. He's asking, guys, so what's your take on the stadium situation? Obviously, this situation that's ongoing where the London Stadium is losing money hand over fist. Obviously, there's a lot of talk about, are we going to own it one day or not? We'll start with you, Dennis, if I may. What do you think?
Well, it's always, when they got it, obviously, say what you like about the board and stuff, but from my understanding, Sullivan's main kind of money right now has been like housing investments or housing market and property ownership. So it's always kind of been who's going to blink first between them and is it London Legacy Docklands or whatever the official name of it is?
London Legacy Development Corporation.
Close enough,
yeah.
Worse or better. But they, how much are they going to be willing to hemorrhage money, and how much are they going to make the taxpayer cough up for? That's why I call it the taxpayer's bowl as a joke. So my opinion, obviously I'm just giving my opinion, I don't know anything deep intel. I think it's just been a waiting game to see, okay, let's see, because if they try and buy the stadium out, it's going to cost them huge amounts of money. And Krasinski ain't going to do it.
Yeah.
So it's a case of trying to wait out and see if they can get it to a affordable price. Because if they buy the stadium, then they can just go to town with it, really. And the first thing I'd like anyone that buys a stadium to do is remove the options of the running track and get the fans even closer to the stand, because that's pretty much the main thing we're missing here.
Yeah,
And then second of all, sort out the food and drink prices and stuff like that. They're now saying they can't do it because it's a stadium operator, but Christ, that's bad. It is only going to get worse. So yeah, I don't really think it's going to happen anytime soon. I think it'll get resolved whenever we get new owners, because Sullivan and Brady aren't going to own it forever. And I think the idea of handing it over to the kids is long gone. That's not been mentioned for about 5 years now. So it'll be whoever owns the club next's problem to sort out, in my opinion.
Fair enough. How about you, Jazz?
Oh, I've got a lot to say. I don't know where to start. Where shall I start? I didn't want to leave Upton Park. I thought that if you could obviously knock down the East Stand, cover the corners. You would have got 45, 48, 49, a little bit bigger than Stamford Bridge. And then you could, a lot of people don't know that West Stand was the biggest single stand in the league. Corporate box as well, and we had corporate boxes at all the ends apart from the east stand, and we had a lot of land around there. We had the land with the school, huge car park, and then the buildings. Obviously, my channel did the program. The buildings there are far taller than what we would have done it, and it's all we all know, like the Tottenham ground. You remember when the Tottenham ground they burnt that last industrial warehouse unit down? They didn't want to go, so
yeah,
it's all corruption. We know that. But
yeah.
then going back to the ground, do I like it? I don't. I don't like the journey. I like the transport links up to Stratford because obviously I live in Windsor, so much out west. But the thing is, when we used to have the Sunday games, I used to hate it because Elizabeth Line, it's shit weekdays anyway, right?
Yeah.
But it never used to run Sundays. But if it ran, it's so much easier for me. One train from, say, Slough, somewhere like that. But it's just a walk. It's just like Westfield clashes with you. You got so many people that are not West Ham fans, the shoppers, local people. That gets me even more angry. And it's that windy, rainy walk, which is like half an hour over the bridge. And you get in there, then it's like an airport search. Get your bags out. Then you go into the turnstiles. People are struggling with their cards. Then you want it's just me. It just could be just me the way I am. And I hate all of that. And then once you get in, it's like an empty shell. The food is overpriced. It's like £12 for a burger. I asked for a cheeseburger once. Onions. I go, where's the onions, love? She goes, lift the cheese up and there's one underneath. I'm like, okay, cheers. Do you know what I mean? It's not for me. You know, I like my rum and coke. It'd probably be £20 for a double. And I did the tour, mate, as a season ticket holder. I'm not anymore. I used to have 3 season tickets 2-3 years ago. I did the tour, and mate, I wanted to cry. It was so bad because they got nothing to show. So the only stand they really show you is the tunnel that what the players come out with. I sit in the Billy Bond stand, probably always will. There's nothing there, no rooms, no history, no museums, F all. There's nothing behind the goals. They show you the dressing room. There's nothing. There's a tunnel. It's embarrassing. So I don't like the ground. Stratford, it's not our area. It's the same borough. I get it. How can we change it? I think you got to knock it down, rebuild it as a proper stadium, because I think age-wise, you can see that because the owners, the legacy group, are skint, and we don't have to pay anything. You're going to find lots of weeds and overrun plants around the ground and not looking good, looking a bit tacky. Another 5 years, it ain't going to be in good shape. And when we went in there, it was going to be like the second best stadium in the league, but everyone's catching up now. 60,000 stadium is nothing special anymore. When everyone revamps, because everyone's doing it, Everton, blah, 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 everyone. Liverpool have already done it. It's not going to be nothing special anymore. And the biggest thing is match day revenue. I think the move from Upton Park to this one will only get you an extra 5-6 million a year. If you look at the season ticket prices, because we've got to share the food prices, we've got no boxes apart from the one stand. Tottenham have got they overtook Chelsea in terms of match day revenue now. So that shows you. And the clever thing Tottenham done was they rebuilt that stadium for all the millions and billions they done it, but they're only paying interest on it, and they locked that deal at historically low rates three years ago when bank rates were low, and all they're doing every 5 years is just paying the interest on it, flipping the capital over every 5 years, and in the meantime they've created this match revenue monster. American football, cheese boards, butter chickens, whatever you want, really. So we'll see what happens. But last thing to say, Sadiq Khan, obviously, I didn't think he was going to win the election, but it's not about politics. He won it. He wants to keep it. He says, no, it's a legacy. They're losing £20 million a year. They were nearly got the Allianz Arena sponsorship for $2 million a year. They lost it. They went to Twickenham, Allianz. They went to Twickenham, RFU. They got the contract. So that's all gone out the window. For me, it's not a nice, mate. It's not a nice, it's an empty shell for me. All right, they've got a few pictures of our players up on the walls, but I want to see a bit more than that. And I think as we go into the future, our ground will no longer be bigger than anyone's and any more special than anyone's, really, mate. No, not for me.
I'm going to be mischievous to the pair of you and to you guys in the live chat, and this might cause a little bit of consternation. I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to sort of, have a little bit of role play, if you will. Let's just suppose we didn't leave the bowling ground. Let's just suppose that we body swerved, we dropped the shoulder on the London Stadium. We stayed at bowling ground. Let's say maybe we redeveloped part of the bowling ground. We made it maybe a 42,000 stadium, which I think would have been viable personally. But let's just suppose that by virtue of not getting the extra revenue that I think it's a fairly well established fact that we get more match day revenue at London Stadium than we did at the bowling ground. Would that be, would you have preferred to stay at the bowling ground, even if the cost of that, the repercussion of that is that history would have been very different and we wouldn't have won the Conference League? We wouldn't have had those 3 seasons in Europe back to back. If that had been the price to pay for staying at the bowling ground, giving up that sequence of European football and the trophy, would you have stayed?
Dennis, you want to take that? Go on.
To use a phrase JP uses a lot, it's kind of 6 of 2 threes. I think they kind of, controversial opinion maybe, for some fans they cancel each other out. Like there's that love of staying at Upton Park and being proper West Ham and a proper football stadium as a proper football club, and having maybe less flashy signings but more workhorses. We still would have probably been able to sign the likes of a Jared Bowen, but we wouldn't have been able to sign a Kudus or a Paqueta. However, what you lose then by going to the London Stadium, you win by having that, what I like to call the Stag Do Cup, because I'm not disrespecting it, but I also like to make light of the fact that it was effectively all we were missing was a trip to Budapest, and we did your typical British stag, didn't we, during that tournament?
Yeah.
You had Belgium, you had Prague, you had basically Iron Appa for the last 16 as well. So it's kind of that, like it kind of balances it out. You're going to get some fans that say no bloody way. You're going to get some fans go, yeah, I just want to go back and enjoy the football. You had fans that have supported them for 30 odd years and not seen them won anything. Obviously, you want to win the trophy, but there will be some. And also, there's some West Ham fans with, in my opinion, wild opinions. I've been seeing tweets saying, I wish we had lost that final because we would have got rid of David Moyes 1 season earlier. And I'm like, are you serious right now? You wanted us to lose that final just to get rid of David Moyes because you hate him that much? Okay. But it's like, so whatever opinion you give on this is going to be wrong. That's the beautiful thing about this question. It's why you stir in the pot with that giant spoon of yours. But yeah, I think it kind of, I don't want to sound like a politician, to quote what you were saying about Sadiq Khan, Jazz, but you're going to get groups that go, yeah, you're going to get groups that go, no. Me personally, I loved Upton Park, but it also wasn't the state-of-the-art stadium that people probably look back at in hindsight. There would have been a lot less trouble pre-2019 at West Ham, definitely. But also then, without signing those big players and things like that, everyone would be going on about how the board need to go because we can't, obviously we can't compete in the Premier League anymore. It's a total poison chalice of a question, really. You want to have your cake and eat it, but you're going to have to sacrifice one or the other in the end of the day. And I'd much rather have a trophy personally. Just one trophy. I'm not bothered if we lose everything ever again. I've seen my team win a trophy in my lifetime because I was born in 1992. So That's it. I've seen my team win a trophy. Anything beyond that is a gift.
How about you, Jazz? What's your thoughts? If staying at the bowling ground had been at the cost of history being very different from that point on, and we wouldn't have won the Conference League in 2023, would you have preferred to stay at the bowling ground, or would you have made the move to London Stadium and let history take its course that it has?
I don't think we've spent a lot more than we would have. I think the revenue in the Premier League is a lot anyway, whether you're Upton Park or Stratford. The rent's low, but then the match day revenue is really low as well. And then I don't think we're getting more than 5, 6, 7 million a year more, whether Upton Park. That's just my guess. But looking at the comments, I think what I meant to say was that apart from renovating Upton Park, if we did what Everton did, was this your own thing you build? What we've done here is we've just taken over another house and we've done nothing to it apart from just put a picture up in a couple of the walls. It's not really ours. we've kind of cheated in a way where it's not ours. You remember when we moved in, there's like 100 meters, people sprinting their photos in the tunnel, things like that. So going back to your question, I don't think it would have made any difference in because don't forget Sullivan. I don't know why he did it. Upton Park, he kept a lot of money behind for some reason. He didn't spend a lot, and then he did when we moved. I don't think that's a lot to do with it. I think a lot of it's to do with how Premiership sponsorship, Premiership rights money's gone up through the roof, and also. But then the other argument is, I would have preferred if we couldn't renovate Upton Park, then go to blank campus and make it our own. So that's why I rate Everton, that they built it slowly, they've done everything that we didn't. We were the model of how not to do it. So every other club, including Tottenham, went all around the world, looked at all around the stadiums. Each step Everton have done, I believe they've spoken to the fans about. Even the way our badge was changed, Gatesy. I don't remember voting for it. I don't know who the hell done that. I fucking hate it. I don't want to swear, but I hate the badge. It's like
they got nothing against fans. Apparently, they never fucking asked me.
Karen Brady quickly pushed it through on Facebook when a lot of people weren't on Facebook back then, and there's about 30 people voting, and they did all these things quickly. Whether they, again, I don't want to have a go at Sullivan, and God bless, rest in peace, Gold and people like that. I'm sure they got it in good faith what they want to do, but they could have done things a little bit better, I felt, especially in interacting with us a bit more. I mean, mate, we don't even have a sports club some years, do we? Even now, I don't even know if we got something. It's that bad. Forget not having a ground. We don't even know what the official sports club.
No, that's bad.
Usually they're like, oh, they got the begging bowl out, mate. Can someone put a tent over here? Where are we going to go? It's really embarrassing. So
they used to be at the by the Orbit, didn't they? And then they got kicked out.
And that was temporary, and they have to rent it. And that's such a lovely. That's turned into a gym, I think, because I went back a couple of times with a video. So I don't think the match day revenue is that much more at London Stadium, but I could be wrong. I don't think it's that much, and it would have been much better if we explored not only developing it, but and they sold it for very low money. Both lads, hardly anything. Remember that thing about he created another company, flogged it for like 4 million,
38 million. I heard that's what they sold the bowling ground for.
Yeah, I thought it's nowhere near that, but
no, that's
what.
Oh,
so all I was going to say is to add to that is it's not just the revenue more increase in the stadium, it's the running costs. We pay sod all to run that stadium, whereas Upton Park, that'd be all on us, including more money, not more money, more problems, more seats, more money. The more seats you got, the more maintenance is required around the structure of the building, the concessions and things like that. And going back to what was said about the Stadium of Gold and Sullivan, a lot of it, they put their foot in their mouths a little bit further down the line when they moved. But the one thing the only thing that either of them said that I will actually, and I'm incredibly anti-Gold and Sullivan, always have been, where I will turn around and say, Dave, I'm going to give David Gold the benefit of the doubt, is when he did that BBC News special, when he said, the fans have to be this close to the stadium if we move. He probably said that because someone had told him, oh, we can do that. And then it turned out either it didn't happen or it ended up costing an absolute bomb, which they said, well, we can't really afford this. One of the two things. The amount of times I've had it in my line of work where I've had people say, yeah, we can do that. And it don't ever happen. And I'm here waiting 2 years later for some IT update that was promised 2 years ago that makes my job a lot easier with about 5 less spreadsheets. And I'm still waiting to this day, So that's the thing. And the thing with the stadium is something I said even during the Burnley protest was, as much as I dislike the stadium, if we do end up being, a good run, top half finishes, Europe and things like that, those problems will slowly fade away. And they kind of, in a way, have. Like, it's now last season we were complaining about Moyes and the style of football. Their journey to the stadium, although annoying and frustrating, was less of our concerns. Whereas when we had Billick, Moyes 1.0 and Pellegrini, the stadium was still a really big kind of factor in people's dissatisfaction with the club and the way it's run. So that's my 2 pence on it. And at no point am I defending the stadium. I don't particularly like London Stadium, but there are more tickets available. It has helped. I've got more issues with around the heritage around the stadium, the fact that decisions are made without our control, and also, the club badge really as well is another big stickler for me. I hate our current club badge, and I also hate the fact we're sponsored by a bloody betting company, which I think is really bad. Yeah, you haven't got the sponsor. You haven't got the sponsors
Premier
on the
League
kids.
clubs are.
I know, but I like to say, it's one of the hills to die on. I'd much rather, obviously, you take them off for the kids, but the kids are still seeing the Betway stuff everywhere. You got people that might have recovering gambling addicts that have potentially lost things because of it, then being reminded of it constantly. If it was up to me, I know it will cause a black hole in betting, but just like with cigarettes, like cigarettes in Formula One, I'd ban betting companies in football.
Thing is, though,
Sorry, tangent, but yeah.
No, that's fine. But the one good thing about having a betting company sponsoring the shirt is that because it's a betting company, they have to put on the kids' shirts, they have to do it without the sponsor. And the good thing is you can actually get them in adult sizes, and I actually quite like that fact.
Yeah.
So
if it weren't for the fact that I'm totally boycotting the club over the friendly when it comes to buying stuff, including drinks at the stadium and whatnot, I'll be getting the sponsorless one. Yeah.
This is a quick update from ex-employee. I know I'm not meant to do it.
No, do it.
So going back to Todibo, everyone. Tobido, sorry, apologize about that. I'm so bad with names.
I think it was Todibo, isn't it?
Oh, maybe he's done a spelling mistake. I thought it's Todibo, but he's done. Oh, guess what he's done? He's done Todibo and Tobido in the same sentence. It's Todibo.
Todibo. Yeah, it's on here. Todibo.
So, yeah, because it's getting towards the end of the window, everyone, where you can't piss about anymore. If you got the money, you do it, or just f off. So Juve are like I said, these leagues outside of Premiership, they don't have the money. It's a great name, Juve, Inter, blah blah blah. They don't have the money. And today, I think Tim Stein is in Nice. I think I don't know what he's doing over there, France. Well, Todibo, whatever. But Juve, we have booked a medical for Todibo tomorrow. There's not. I mean, agreement hasn't been that clear cut done, but we're just saying we ain't messing about. We're ready. We got the money. Nice like our agreement. It's a loan to perm deal, everyone, for Todibo. Finances have all been agreed many, many weeks ago. We booked a medical tomorrow to say to the player, we're serious. Let's go. And Juve are jittering and bittering. So expect tomorrow or maybe the day after that, we're getting serious with Wan-Bissaka and Todibo. Like I said, Gatesy, this is a fresh approach, fresh recruitment team, not hanging around. We've got little room in the budget, like I said. So keep an eye on that story, that Todibo, we've more or less, what more can you do? Gatesy comes around. I said, Gatesy, KFC bucket there for me. What do you want, mate? It's like, no. So very interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. We've got everything agreed with Nice and have done. Yeah. We've booked a preliminary medical tomorrow to let the player know, mate, come on, stop messing about. And I would do it if I was him. So keep an eye on that story, everyone. Only put it out there a minute ago on for Patreon. So I'm just sharing that with you kindly.
I got a funny feeling I might be doing a quick video after we finish this, just on the breaking news. So watch this space. That might be out on the channel tomorrow morning. You never know. Got a couple of other questions that have come in here, chaps. Let's just get stuck into a few of these if you don't mind.
Just one more thing, Gatesy. One more thing.
Yep.
Also adding that the Wan-Bissaka deal, we're confident it can be done over that 7 million that he wants. Whichever way that gets sorted out, we are increasingly confident it can be resolved very soon. But other targets have been drawn up and talks with the clubs continue. So we're very proactive. We're going to get right back. We're going to get a centre back, everyone. Hopefully it'll be Wan-Bissaka and Todibo. Todibo loan to perm makes sense. Keep a little bit of cash behind. We've got to explore the loan market, which Moyes never used to do, everyone. We've got to do more loans, more loan to perms. Makes absolute sense. Werner at Spurs, they've done a second loan with him. That's the kind of thing you can do. Yeah. Keep your capital for January. Yeah.
Got a question from Darren Middlecoat. Thanks for sending in your question, Darren. Do appreciate it. And he asked the question, do you think the atmosphere is worse at London Stadium, bearing in mind there's more fans there than there was at the Bowling Ground? I'll throw that over to you first, if I may, Jazz. What's your thoughts? 62,500 in the stadium, roughly 56,000 season ticket holders. Yet the atmosphere on occasion can be like you're playing a game of football on the moon.
You know, I'm going to give a long-winded answer again.
Good, please
when
do.
I first started going like you, at capacity, I don't know, 26, 27,000 Upton Park. I don't know if it was because I was a kid, but oh my God, it used to be loud, right? Even if it's 23, 21,000, it just looked scary, it looked loud, it looked exciting. So that was Upton Park. But then as I grew up, took my kids back to Upton Park, it looked flat. A lot of that's to do with I could only go to like kids for games back then. I could never get a ticket for the Liverpool, Arsenal, United game. So we always used to go for West Ham, Blackburn, West Ham, Hull, West Ham, Swansea, Upton Park. And it wasn't that loud, just being honest out there towards the latter end. So I don't know if it was really that great with top 6 game. London Stadium, especially in Europe, it's been rocking. I remember Sevilla night, Gatesy, hopefully, I think he was there. Rocking. Every European game nearly rocking. It can be done. I remember Chelsea.
Game against Leicester after lockdown.
Oh mate, yeah, the one of early games, and Liverpool when Zuma we beat them 2-3-1. I think that rocking. No problem with that. I think it's a modern day dilemma. So apart from grounds like Crystal Palace, Anfield at European nights, I think we're the same as any other club. More likely than not, we score huge roar, but after that it dies down. Away fans, no matter where you are, so even at Upton Park, London Stadium, all the away fans that come, they're brilliant. And when we go away, we're brilliant. But home fans, I think like majority of the home grounds, it's up and down. So it goes high when you kick off, then it goes flat again. And there's only 2-3 teams that can continuously play attacking, get corner after corner, free kick after free kick, your Man Cities, Arsenals, Liverpools. Apart from that, a lot of the games are a little bit quiet in the middle of the field, aren't they? And you don't get that high noise. So I think we're no worse or no better than any other ground at the moment, modern time. It's just Stoke used to have a reputation. Crystal Palace has it. Fulham, maybe not Fulham, but yeah, I think it's all right. But it has got the capacity to be unbelievable if we can ever, start to win more games, play the right way. And that kind of thing. So I think it is what it is, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. What about yourself, Dennis? What's your thoughts on the question? Do you think that the atmosphere is? Hang on, wrong one. Do you think the atmosphere is worse at London Stadium than Bowling Ground? Bearing in mind there's more fans.
Yeah. I mean, there's an argument for that. Jazz pretty much did sum up like 90% of what I could say. Like your big games, there's so much noise. Sevilla. Bubbles at Sevilla, and the first game back after the lockdown season, Leicester, when everyone was buzzing to be there, and it was like we won 4-1, everyone was happy to be there, no one was complaining about the stadium that day, for example.
No,
so I said success, good football, and just feel good factor being like some of the Palace game afterwards as well, because we were still top of the league. We had Palace, and if we'd won that day, it would have been rocking. We drew that day, and it was rocking to begin with. But Upton Park wasn't the bastion of atmosphere that a lot of people make it out to be. You had a lot better view and you were closer to the action. So there's an element of that of feeling like you're at the game. But, a lot of history was very quickly rewritten in, the autumn of 2016 about how absolutely electric the atmosphere was every single game at Upton Park. It was for the big games, don't get me wrong. It was for the opening game of the season, sometimes close of the season, but it'd also be games. We also got to remember some of the periods we had at Upton Park where it would be a snooze fest. I remember going to watch West Ham versus Gillingham 2004. I'm pretty certain we won, but even then, other than the goals, there was barely any noise that day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's. I don't want to do the politics dance again. It's 6 or 2-3s. It could be totally dead. I sit. Technically it's Bobby Moore upper, but it is above the corner flag, block 255, and it's not exactly amazing for chanting or anything like that. But then you get to a European night like Freiburg and Leverkusen, and everyone's clapping during the West Ham are massive. So yeah, it really depends where you are.
I'm just looking at that comment from Hammer89. Is he in a bit of bondage, a little bit of S&M or something? Stuyton and Todibo sort of like getting tied up. I don't know.
He is German.
Yeah.
We can't even get the name right. We're struggling.
I got it right. I knew it was which way round it was. I'm gonna inject a little bit of humour. Because
Oh,
Hammer
no.
89, he did spot me laughing when he put this question in. And just to add a little bit of little bit of humour to the proceedings, gentlemen, would you let David Moyes fart in your face if he guaranteed us top 4? I'll tell you what, Dennis, I'm going to let you get stuck into this one because Jazz is too busy laughing.
It's a pretty quick answer. Someone that's grown up with dogs and been farted on or at plenty of times, constantly living with dogs. Go on then. I'll take one for the team. Top 4, Moyes farts at me. Great.
What dog, in your experience, has the worst fart? I think I know the answer.
I don't know really. I mean, they're all pretty bad. It depends what you do. My current dog that is a real mix. He is a Jack Russell Beagle cross mixed with a King Charles Spaniel and Springer Spaniel. So loud, bouncy, possessive thing.
Yeah.
Very loving though. And if you give him any form of vegetables, it is like you need to wear gas masks. Like any form of vegetable, especially one time my mum's partner's daughter made the mistake of giving him leftover Brussels sprouts from Christmas dinner, and we didn't watch Die Hard that night. We were gagging too much.
We had before we got our current dog Winnie, who's a Levitt Bulldog. In fact, right, early doors has got it. We had a Frenchie. Oh my god! And anybody that I know that owns a French Bulldog or has had a French Bulldog at any point in their life, and you turn around and say, "What are their farts like?" and they just go, "Oh my god!" Honestly, anyone that's got a French Bulldog, talk to them. Anyway. Would you let Moisey fart in your face if we got top 4 this season, Jazz?
I was thinking how I'm going to sort this out. Of course, we want top 4. So what I would do is yes, but what I would do is close my eyes, close my mouth, stop breathing.
Not for too long.
No, but that's the only way I could do it. Obviously, I definitely have to go for the option because it's our club. But I have to keep my eyes closed. I can't breathe. Keep my mouth closed and just hope it finishes quick.
Bit like my sex life. Did I just say that out loud? Oh shit! I meant to mute myself before I said that. Oops. Never mind. Let's have a look. Got another question here. Michael asked the question. I'll tell you what, I'll keep it on you then, Jazz, and we'll come to Dennis in a sec since it's on you. Why do we have London on the badge? Even Martians know West Ham is in London. Are you a fan of that little bit of information on the badge? Very helpful.
It's for commercial purposes to sell the club in the future to let prospective foreign investors know we're in London. I think that was the main reason, and it's driven by Karen Brady, who gets all these bonuses for selling bits out of the club, getting foreign investors in, and getting million, all that kind of thing. I think it was largely marketing driven. Yeah, for the foreigners to say, this is London, in case you didn't know.
Do you think that there's a lot of people around the world? I mean, do you think that there are players principally that sort of like when we go in for them, yes, they've heard of West Ham United. I'm pretty sure that the footballers around Europe, around the world, you say West Ham and they go, yeah, I've heard of West Ham. But if they actually sort of like were asked the question, whereabouts in England are they? Do you think that most of them actually know?
They would know, and I think, to be fair, like we all have a go at Moyes, it has been helped by the 3-4 years have been in Europe. I always kept saying that every generation that goes by where we don't win anything, we're not in Europe, it's going to get harder and harder to tell people. And I think that's helped a lot. We're right up there. Everyone knows, especially winning something, getting to a couple of semi-finals, dare I say, and quarterfinals and top 6-7 finishes and getting huge. And don't forget, again, trying to balance the argument against having to go at Moyes all the time is a lot of these players we're signing now. If you told me we're signing a striker that's currently in the Germany squad or Brazil's CDM, Paqueta in the middle or so forth, I wouldn't have believed it. So we are growing. We are doing things great. And sometimes easy as a human to get something and then forget about it and get more greedy. So I think for me, London is because, I think people know about what we are now. They know. Yeah.
How about you, Dennis?
I think Yeah, added to Jazz's thing is also more for you get the tourists that buy the spare seats. They see London on it and they go, "Oh yeah, football in London, great, yeah." These are people that probably don't know many clubs. Also, some experiences of tourists coming in. I had a brilliant because I spent one season, first season back as a season ticket holder in band one. By the near, not too far from the away fans, but not in with the lot that throw stuff at them. And some other things I saw from tourists, because in our block there's always spare seats. Woman wearing a full on like full kit wanker Chelsea kit.
What?
Yeah, West Ham Chelsea, where we had them 1-1. She had a full Chelsea kit. She lasted about 3 minutes in the stand before stewards came and marched her out. And her English was not fantastic. So she did not understand why everyone was having a go at her. And, I don't know if wherever she's from, don't want to sound like I'm being like being all UK, but whatever football is like where she's from, it could be that there's mixed seating. So that's another problem with it. The best one I had, which was everyone was just laughing at these lot. There were these I'm just gonna say South American because they were talking Spanish, and I don't think they were Spanish. I think they were South American. Their English weren't the greatest. They came for the first game against City when Harden played. With all of them had bought, like the parents and the kids all had West Ham massive T-shirts, which shows you first off they don't know anything about West Ham for buying those T-shirts. And they had West Ham face paint on all of them, and like some, I'm gonna say like jester hats, but these like hats that are not caps they had on, and they celebrated both of City's goals.
Wonderful.
And it was like people left them alone other than the really angry ones that are right by the block because they just like they don't know what's going on. Just leave them alone. They don't know what's going on. No. They're cheering on both sides. So yeah, but it's mainly for tourists, mate. It's mainly for tourists to see the word London.
Yeah, I got a few things to add to that as Gatesy knows me. Tottenham, there was a couple, and when there's ladies there, I don't say nothing because I think they were kind of younger, middle-aged, and I kind of let the bloke know, like, just the way you look at someone that I'm not happy, but no, if a lady's there, I'm not going to say nothing. There's been, and I think I can say that with my colour. So listen, where Stratford is, we know Green Street used to be the same, right? Asians living near Green Street, they never used to follow West Ham. And I can say that openly, and I used to get, what the F's going on? I remember one game at Upton Park. There was a Liverpool-Arsenal game at midday, and my mate goes, let's go into a bar on Green Street. I didn't even know about this place. Went there, and they're all there. The local Green Street agents are watching Liverpool-Arsenal, Liverpool-Man United. They won't go to West Ham. That used to really get on my nerves, big time, right? And that's different to the Midlands, where a lot of the agents follow Birmingham Villa. I like to see all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then going back to tourists is like, when there's Liverpool playing, Gatesy, I mean, I sit Billy Bonds down, always band one halfway line, and they come in groups of 6 right at the back. And I tell the boys, like, if they score and I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. I don't want to do nothing, but I can't help myself sometimes. If there's just blokes, that's fine. Ladies, no, not saying nothing, and kids, not saying nothing. But luckily, I have seen them, I've spotted them, but they've been respectable. And that usually means they didn't score or they lost, and I haven't seen it, And I'm going to be honest on Gatesy's show, give an exclusive, and I never do this. So honest stories. A lot of my family are Liverpool fans, and 2 of them wanted to come to a game once. They came with me up Upton Park, and I told them, you better behave yourselves, right? And yeah, they never came back. And Brentford won, I think, a couple of years ago. My friend was really respectable. But I would advise, like, if you got family friends, always ask you for tickets. I would never sit in the wrong end myself. Never.
No.
Never, ever. I know people have done it at finals. I would never do it. And I've taken a few family members in the wrong end. Hands up, I've done it. Couple of them behaved okay, but I will never do it again. I'll never do it again. And it's wrong, but maybe, like Dennis said, they're from abroad. They're here on a holiday, generally London. Premiership's the biggest. It's huge. It's the modern football where we just got to live with it, I think. And as long as people are respectable and you don't want to do it at West Ham. A lot of these people don't know what we say. At Fulham, with respect to Fulham, you can do it. Everyone's happy. Everyone's jolly. In Brentford, lovely, friendly clubs. West Ham, passionate. We don't like that kind of thing, and you shouldn't do that, mate. Yeah,
You mentioned Fulham. I mean, I don't know if you ever been to Craven Cottage or been there in the last few years, boys?
My son has on friendly. My son went to the friendly game. My son went. Yeah.
How about yourself, Dan?
Never.
It's the weirdest thing. I've been there twice now. I've been there the last 2 years. And when I went there, the first time I went there was we played them at the back, towards the back end of not last season, the season before now. So it was the season we won the Conference League. Jared Bowen scored. We shithoused a 1-0 win. And it was the first time I'd been to Craven Cottage. Went in this stand. I thought, okay, great, no problem. I've gone over, got a pie, got a pint, sitting there, sort of just watching the world go by, waiting to go up to the seat. And then I've looked and I've seen someone in a Fulham shirt. And I'm like, what? And I'm looking around and there's Fulham fans mingling with West Ham fans under the stand, where there's all the food kiosks and all that were. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, this is bizarre. This is just really strange.
In a culture shock in a different country, because I go over to Germany quite a bit, and they took me to a Frankfurt game in the family stand, away from all the crazy ones. And the away fans and the fans of the family stand mix and queue and get the same beer and have a chat and stuff. And it's like, this would never happen in England. There'd be fights all day and things like that. So yeah, I've had that. It's such a walk around being like, this is just so weird. Like the Dusseldorf fans, they're being friendly with the Frankfurt. What is going on?
Yeah, it was very, very strange. I couldn't work it out.
On the subject of random stadiums, it's not quite West Ham, but what's like the most random stadium or football match you guys have found yourself come to? And I'm going to exclude supporting your non-league, dog and duck football team.
What do you mean? What do you mean in terms of going to or weird experience?
Yeah, in terms of like
non-West Ham.
Non-West Ham, what's the most obscure match you found yourself watching? Like random game?
Essex Floodlit Cup final.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go Essex Floodlit Cup final. It was a team that we, when my wife and I first got together, she followed this team before I met her, sort of thing, and I kind of followed it sort of by association. And I ended up going to Braintree to watch Leighton. I think it was Leighton Pennant versus Braintree in the Essex Floodlit Cup or whatever it was, and they won 1-0. So it was quite nice. But yeah, it was just very strange, sort of like there was probably about 50 people watching,
I mean, I think of obscure teams, although I was at university there, Chester City had liquidated the year before I went up and had gone down to like something called the Evo Stick Second Division.
Oh, God.
Just sounds like it's out of Mike Bassett. And they played a team called Prescott Cables.
Mighty Prescott Cables.
Yeah. And their captain of Prescott Cables genuinely was a short, fat bloke with a bald head and your stereotypical white and black headband. But he ran the show. He absolutely ran the show. It was like the Xabi Alonso of his division, like that. But the most obscure football match I went to is actually a professional game. But I went to see them in the Tunnock Cup in Scotland because I was visiting family over there. I went to see Falkirk versus Albion Rovers, and Connor Salmon scored a stoppage time equaliser to take it to extra time.
Wait a minute.
Dennis, what were we doing in that part of the world? Then was that holiday?
I've got family up there.
Wait. The Tunnock's Cup, as in Tunnock's tea cakes.
As in like the I think it's Tunnock's. It's the wafer bar.
Yeah. And they do like a little tea cake, don't they?
Yeah. Caramel. I know the one. Yeah, different layers. Yeah.
It's either
amazing
their version
Furrox or something. Yeah.
It's either their version of the Johnson's paint or the League Cup. I can't remember.
Jesus.
But it was just like it was freezing cold. I remember I wish I'd worn 2 pairs of gloves. It was that cold. And yeah, it ended 1-1 and then went to penalties. It was like a preliminary game of it, like in late November in Falkirk. And I was visiting. They just had a ticket. I was like, yeah, I'll go. And when Connor Salmon was playing, I just kept, it's Connor Salmon, the guy that relegated us. What's he doing here? It's like brilliant. 2021. Shouldn't he be retired? He's about 40.
What was that thing they used to
Crazy.
say? East 55444 or something like that, weren't it? Do you
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah, that was the tongue twister, wasn't it? East 54455 or whatever it was.
And that name, Queen's Park, no, what's the one? Oh
Queen
my
of the
god,
South.
Queen
You
of the
got
South.
yeah, I thought, what a name. And they used to play at Hampden Park, I think. I don't know. Yeah,
Oh, that was Queen's Park. Queen's Park, yeah. They don't anymore, but they did used to. Strangest
yeah.
thing, it's like, they probably sort of like had average gates of about, I don't know, maybe 1,000, 2,000 if they were lucky. And they're in a 50, 60,000 seat. I mean, back in the day when they had the European Cup final there with, was it Real Madrid and Eintracht Frankfurt? I think they had 150,000 people there from memory. Not that I was alive. Let me just get that out there in case anybody thinks, Jesus Christ, Gatesy, fucking hell.
No,
I wasn't around.
No, he was only one. You can't remember. Come on.
No.
He's only one.
It's just a story that I heard, a legend. We'll get into this last question before we wrap up the aftermath.
No, I've got one more story.
Go on, Em. Tell me.
Right, I've got nothing exciting like what Dennis just said because I'm just West Ham. But my first ever game, my dad took me to 1989 pre-season friendly. This is a season, everyone, when John Lyle, God bless him, was sacked and Lou McCurry came in. Aldershot, everyone. The forgotten club. It was a friendly at Aldershot away. And it's like, my dad's like, yeah, we're walking around the ground, and Dad, that's Phil Parks. That's Phil Parks. The first time you see your idols, they're like film stars, aren't they? Like, that's Phil Parks. That's like whoever. So Aldershot, I thought that was just worth mentioning, a forgotten club. Army barracks there, or some kind of famous army thing, isn't it? Aldershot, yeah. So
big Army
don't
barracks there.
we did play them in the FA Cup a lot of years after that, but I don't think they're around in the main league. Are they anymore? Non-league somewhere? Aldershot, maybe.
Aldershot, yeah. I think they still exist.
Yeah. I think they're sort of like conference south.
Well, that was the first time I ever saw my heroes. Yeah, Aldershot friendly away.
Got one last question I'm gonna just throw at you boys before we knock it on the head. Early Doors Football TV asked the question: what's happened to the standing area? Because there was this thing about safe standing, wasn't there? That I believe they've got in Germany, and there was talk about it's going to come in at London
Tottenham
Stadium,
are doing it, weren't they? Yeah,
what's happened?
I think it hasn't. I could be wrong, but I think it's still waiting for the legislation to be passed that it's legal.
Okay.
Because I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think it could even be tied in with this football regulator that the government Labour Party are looking to bring in. But I think things like I'm all for it. I've done safe standing at QPR, but I think which great experience, and got to watch Andy Carroll play for Reading that day, or that night. But I think Premier League, they haven't approved it, so it could sit with the Premier League, it could sit with the government. I don't know. But I think that's why it's gone really quiet, because David Gold, to be fair, was making a lot of noise about it in 2018 and 2019, and I'm all for it. I've done it, and they have installed. Last time I went to Wembley to watch England, which is the Germany friendly, they had safe standing racks installed, but they weren't allowing us to stand. So get your head around that one. I was actually at the game with JP that day, and Bill. Me, JP, and Bill went to that game, and yeah, so that's installed at Wembley, but when I was last there, it wasn't allowed. I don't know if it has been since, but yeah, look, it just looks like it's not something that's available. So I don't think the club are going to be prioritising that right now. That's kind of your answer there, from best of my knowledge. That is, if someone in the comments happens to know more than me, more power to them.
Fair enough. What about you, Jazz? What's your if it did come in, do you think that you personally would you be for it? You remember, you've got now safe standing as opposed to you stand up in nowadays in a modern football ground, and you got a steward marching over, sort of like in his high vis or her high vis, telling you to sit down, otherwise they'll chuck you out.
I like it because, listen, I won't go in that area. I'm different, I'll sit high in the stands. That's me, but the choice is there. That's what I want it to be. It's a choice for everyone, and I'll be happy because the atmosphere will be good from there. I just worry about the small children in terms of the view. How they're going to cope with that, and what number do you give someone? Are you meant to stand? I don't know how you do that. I mean, I don't know how it works out. Do you just bundle everyone in there first come, first serve?
there are seats, but it's the way they go up. Dennis, you could probably explain.
Yeah, so basically, because I did this at QPR, you get given like a set. It's like parking bays, effectively, and you get given a number. And you go to that number, and then you got sort of enough space, realistically,
to
for
jump
someone,
up and down and do all that.
For my sort of size, definitely. But also, you got like, because I went with a mate, Josh, who was a big lump. He's a big guy.
Do that elbow, mate.
No, but he was going so barmy because I think QPR scored like a late penalty to win it. Like, we're talking like stoppage time. And he managed to actually go from where he stood to my right, below past everyone. So there's enough space to get in front of us to go celebrate with some people he knew further down that had season tickets there and stuff like that.
See, I'm worried about children. I mean,
there's lots of people
getting knocked down and it's the kids I'm worried about, I think.
But there were
adults.
Yeah, from my memory, there were, I wouldn't call them kids, but there was like people that were definitely secondary school age, like around us.
Oh, that's all kind of all right.
So it could be a caveat if they're not allowed to be, young kids there. I don't know.
Yeah, under 12, 11, no, I wouldn't recommend it.
I did it once, and it was a situation of, I've got a spare ticket. His words, do you want to watch some real football, championship football? So I went.
Yeah, because just bear in mind that I do want it back, but the authority is probably waiting for one minor thing to go wrong. Like, you stamp on a kid's hand, oh, that's it, mate. Dennis, what you done, mate? And you know what I mean? So everyone, we got to think about common sense. So bring it in, freedom, up to you if you want to do it, but look at the safety and ideally under 12 children, under 13. Gatesy, it's not safe, is it? I wouldn't bring my kids in there because I don't know where I go when I score. You don't want to know what I do. I go up and down and start hugging people I don't know. I lose it as well, and I hate to step on a kid, and we're all accident prone.
You've stepped on kids more than once before in your life. Yes, come on. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised when you've had a couple of rums inside you. Not only have you probably stepped on kids, you've probably booted them across the terraces.
What I normally do is I grab the people because I might not know them. Normally I do. I just grab. I can't. It's not pre-planned. We score. I grab the two together. I turn around. I
just
grab
go
them.
mad,
yeah. Especially it's a big game. Yeah, it's just all about it. I remember Chelsea when Masuaku scored that. Oh my god! First of all, I thought, what the hell's just happened here? How did he score? He didn't know, and I would jump up and down because Chelsea were giving it that day, weren't they? We had to beat him, and I love that. London derbies, brilliant.
Yeah. Right, guys. I think we're going to knock it on the head there. We've obviously done. This is our second stint. If you haven't seen it, please go back to the West Ham Network and have a look at what we did. This is obviously the big debate aftermath. We obviously did the big debate, the main event one over on the West Ham Network.
Transfer update.
Go for it.
Right, update 1 was a deal is more than likely to be the original loan with obligation deal. This is Todibo that had been in place. Update 2 seconds ago. A number of top sources are confident this transfer is going to go ahead now, and it can go ahead loan to perm. And the shocking thing I've just heard, and I love X, and he's solid as anyone. We've got the 40 million cash to do it. If worst case scenario, we've got the 40 million because my net spend's 37, like I said. So we want this man, and I don't know nothing about him. So I think Gatesy, just
if we loan him,
I don't know nothing about him. Yeah,
he's rated by lots of people and said United were desperate to get him.
Oh, he's done another update. Now. This is going ballistic, Gatesy.
But he basically, if we get him on loan and push that into next year, that Solar guy or Solar at Salzburg is available.
We have to be clever.
And then might even just throw a little bit more money at Wan-Bissaka to get that done nice and quick.
Dennis, do you know something? What is he? Is he right-footed? What is he? What is this guy about? Todibo. Is he French?
I don't know. He's French. I don't know an awful lot about him outside of the world of Football Manager.
Because after a good, I'm a bit worried.
I just know that a lot of Liverpool and United and Arsenal fans have wanted him for a long time. And the fact that we're getting him could be a real coup.
40 million. I hope it's all right. Mate. Because I still want Duran in it. I still want my world exclusive Duran. Me and Gatesy want Duran, don't we, mate? He's the dog's bollocks. That boy Duran is an animal.
You still want him?
Oh, mate, that man excites me, and he can do everything, Gatesy.
Loan
pace,
with an
edit.
obligation to buy again. That could happen.
That's what I was saying. That's it, mate. That's it. But that's it. So I'll stop interrupting, Casey. All this breaking news, mate. It's too much.
That's fine. Right. Okay. We're going to knock it on the head, guys. Please, thank you very much indeed for joining us. We always like to say here on the channel, please don't forget to like, comment on, and share this stream to your social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Make sure you hit the bell icon for alerts and new content. We always thank you very much indeed for your support. And these things are all free for you to do and take you literally seconds. Interesting little statistic just before we bugger off is I found out that 70% of the people that view the content on the channel aren't actually subscribed to the channel, which is quite staggering, really. It's a simple thing. Just click subscribe. We haven't got your bank details. We're not going to spam you. We're not going to come around and kneecap you. We'll leave you alone. Just every now and again, you'll see our content popping up. It really does help the channel out. But thank you very much for joining us. Dennis, thanks for joining us. Jazz, we will see you again next time. And don't forget to give the Iron Supporting Food Banks charity a look. That link, excuse me, is in the description section below. We will see you again down the track. Take care. Come on, you Irons.